So I just looked at another video which had to do with being authentic. I just posted, I just made a short video on that as well, and yeah, knowing when is it that you are actually being authentic. And I mean, I would say it's, to me, I definitely notice that, yeah, there's of course moments, I think, that keep coming up again, where it's like you're sort of, in a sense, it feels like you're performing, especially when it comes to like now posting these kind of videos. And I mean, at the same time, like, these are all parts of you that are there, or these are all aspects inside you that are taking part in this, and it's okay, right? It's okay that things don't always come out, let's say, in the most, I guess, in the most perfect way possible. Like, the most perfect way possible to me would be being fully authentic, in your truth. And the truth is, you aren't always able to be that way, because sometimes you don't even realize it, that you're not. Sometimes there's certain conditions or patterns that come up in you that play a role in your life without you even realizing it. And I feel like the best thing we can do is just to try and be as authentic as we can be, and be curious about when it doesn't happen, and be curious about, okay, why am I having to act a certain way, or be a certain way in these situations. And yeah, I mean, this is something that I already spoke about also in another video, this idea of being curious about it. I mean, it's not my invention or anything. I was recently watching a lot of Gabor Mate, Dr. Gabor Mate. He's a phenomenal guy, and I just feel like I've been doing that intuitively already, and at the same time I've also been doing what he says that usually we do, which is, the self-criticization, criticization. I don't know if that's how you say it. Criticism, I think. Yeah. Self-criticism that I definitely notice I'm a culprit of that too, but it's okay. Like, I feel like it's fine that these things are there, right? Like, they come up, and then we always have an opportunity to see them. We always have an opportunity to meet them, and then, even if the critic is there, and then be like, okay, hi critic, how are you doing? And I have already spoken to people as well. I have another guy who I know personally who also told me, but essentially, just be playful with it. And yeah, essentially, different ways of saying the same thing, I would say. And yeah, I mean, I feel this whole remembering who you are, not all of us are it doesn't come naturally for all of us. For a lot of us, we have work to do, I guess. It takes effort to come to that point of remembering, okay, you know what, all of this stuff isn't actually me. Actually, who I really am is, this kind of person, or this kind of being, whatever it may be. I don't know what that will be for you. I feel every one of us will figure that out for ourselves. And at the end of the day, it's just, about being truthful with yourself, about being truthful about what is your truth in every moment. Is it to, maybe it is to perform. I mean, there can be a lot of truth in performance as well. Sometimes there's a certain performance that you put on because it is something that can be of service to those receiving that information. So sometimes it isn't about necessarily you having to be, anything other than yourself. Maybe you just have a different way of expressing things in certain situations, or delivering certain things in situations, which help that certain situation for the information to be delivered more effectively. I would say that's at the basis of acting in the first place, right? We see any famous actors, I would say the actors that we respect the most, I would say, their acting isn't any more acting than it is them actually becoming that, whatever it may be. And maybe they weren't even aware of that this was in them in the first place, but then they go so deeply into this sort of role that they are preparing for, that they end up, sort of turning into that in a sense. And I mean, those are like the most respectable actors, I would say, are the ones that, that you really feel like they are that role, they are that character that they are trying to portray, because they become it. And so sometimes I would say acting can help to bring out all of those parts maybe that want to actually express themselves, that haven't maybe had the chance before to express themselves. I know in my case that's been the case very often, that I had suppressed a lot of my emotions, and I still notice those emotions are suppressed in there. And I've noticed that sometimes acting actually has helped to bring out all of these things that don't want to be, that have been suppressed and stopped, that I have stopped myself from expressing, in a sense. And so I feel like authenticity sometimes, authenticity is, authenticity is relative. What is authenticity? You're just figuring it out. You figure it out as you go. And eventually you get to a point where, you have complete clarity about what is your truth and what isn't. I definitely see that clarity in me, but I don't always act on that in the moment, because I notice that sometimes the conditioning is still so strong, so gripping so strong in those moments, but it's not gripping strong enough for me to not notice it, at least, so that I can reflect on it after and be like, I noticed that in this moment it did not feel true to act that way, or to respond that way, or to whatever it was in that way. And that's already progress. And then you can be curious about it, you can look at it, it's like, oh, okay, I see. Oh, I wonder why I acted like that, why I didn't respond actually in this other way. And then you can also still decide to make changes on that. And it's a work in progress. Life is a work in progress, and I think every moment we can be just curious about how we are interacting with the world and interacting with ourselves, and talking to ourselves and talking to the outside, or connecting within and without. The more we can be curious about how we are doing that, the more I feel we can grow and learn from it, and enjoy the process without having to suffer it as well. That doesn't mean you won't be sad, that doesn't mean you won't be angry, but at least you can embrace these things fully, and then then it doesn't become a suffering anymore, because you understand, hey, you know what, it's actually very human to be able to express and experience all of these things, all of these emotions, or whatever sensations wish to show themselves. And if we can just be curious about them, then it's beautiful. Then we can constantly discover more and more what is that authentic self that we are. Bless you.